Ezra, I just want to say, if you were going to design a machine that would keep people from getting broadband.
Yeah.
In this video, Jon Stewart, a very strong advocate for the left, is shocked to find out how Democrats and liberal governments use regulations for their benefit. But before we get into the details, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Let's get into the discussion.
All right, so the NTIA must issue a NOFO within 180 days. States who want to participate must submit their letter of intent. Step 3, they can request up to $5 million in planning grants.
Just planning.
Just planning. Step 4, the requests are reviewed, approved, and awarded by the NTIA. Then
How long is step 4 by just
I
out
actually
of
don't
curiosity?
know. It's a great question. This process we are talking about, which currently all 56, 3 years later, all 56 applicants had passed through at least step 5. It took more than 3 years. So it's a long time. States must submit a 5-year action plan. So the states kind of go back and they kind of think about how they're going to do this. And they don't just say, okay, thank you for the money. We're going to spend it. And you can see how it worked out later. We're like, here's our 5-year action plan. Then the FCC must publish the broadband data maps before NTIA allocates funds. So this one is, I think, a little funny at least. So these maps, right? This is supposed to show you where you don't have enough broadband. But it then says in parentheses, and states needed opportunities to challenge map for accuracy. So having done the NOFO, the letters of intent, the request for planning grants, then the review, approval, and awarding of the planning grants, then the 5-year action plans. In between that, the federal government has to put forward a map saying where it thinks we need rural broadband subsidies. And then, of course, the states need an opportunity to challenge the map for accuracy. And you can imagine this doesn't all happen in like a day. Okay.
Oh my God.
So then the NTIA, step 7, has to use the FCC maps to make allocation decisions. Then having already done their letter of intent, their request for planning grants, it's hard even to talk about this, man.
Ezra, I just want to say, if you were going to design a machine that would keep people from getting broadband.
Yes.
If you were to design a machine it's almost as though they have designed this to make sure that people in rural areas by the time this is around, Musk will already have the chips in our brains. We won't even need it.
Well, that literally is happening, by the way. By the time this could have gotten off the ground, Musk is taking it over for Starlink. But,
right.
Okay, step 7 is NTIA must use the FCC maps that were already challenged for allocation decisions. Then, having submitted all this, I think this one is actually quite amazing.
Yeah.
Having submitted their 5-year plans or letters of intent, step 8 is states must submit an initial proposal to the NTIA.
This is crazy.
Step 9, NTIA must review and approve each state's, again, initial proposal. By my read, we have had at least 2 initial proposals here, but that's a different issue.
Oh my God.
Step 10, states must publish their own map and allow internal challenges to their own map. So the government has published a map. They have invited the states to challenge the map. Then states have submitted initial proposals, and they then have to publish their own map and allow challenges.
Wait, who's challenging it within the state?
Well, organized interest groups, environmental groups, I don't know who specifically, but literally anybody. This is,
right.
I want to say something because it's very important I say this. This is the Biden administration's process for its own bill. They wanted this to happen. This is how liberal government works now.
This is something they instituted for this bill.
For their bill.
They wanted this.
It's so important to say this. This is not how Republicans handicapped a liberal bill. This is a bill passed by Democrats with a regulatory structure written by Democratic administration. Okay.
Right.
This, by the way, so the thing I'm looking at, it tells me as of March of 2025, how many of the players had gone through everything. So and until what I just said, states must publish their own map and allow challenges. 3 years plus into this, all 56 had done that. But now you begin to see players falling out. Step 11, the NTIA must review and improve the challenge results and the final map. So the NTIA has put forward a map. The states have challenged that map. Then the states have put forward their maps, had other challenges. And now the NTIA must review and approve the challenges to the state maps. Okay. At this point, it's 47 of the 56. So we've just lost 9 of the applicants.
And by the way, I want to make sure that everybody understands each one of these steps, I'm sure, and pardon me if I'm being presumptive here or presumptuous, each one of these steps has an amount of time that they write into. So in other words, it's a 90-day waiting period for these challenges. It's a 120-day review process. Like there's already, without anybody even submitting anything, that they could have seen on a macro level, 2.5 years of nothingness built in.
One of the things I'm trying to shake people on with this book is that Democrats, liberals, people who believe in government have entered into a kind of learned helplessness about how government works. As if like the way they have ended up doing it, I call this a culture. It's not an ideology. The culture of how Democrats govern has become like this.
For governments to grow their economies, businesses need less regulations that will only stifle progress. When there are more regulations, businesses are less inclined to invest. This ends up having a negative impact on economic growth and development in any country. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.